Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Alpha Centauri Let's Play. Hope you folks are well. Hope you folks are taking care of yourselves. It's being recorded in May and posted in August, so quite a bit of time has passed. I don't know what's going on in the world when this posts, 3 months down the line, but I suppose I should mention right now one thing that's happening in the world is because of the messiness in Ukraine, there's food shortages, limited amounts of famine in parts of the world. They traditionally imported foods like wheat from Ukraine. This is areas like Egypt, parts of North Africa and East Africa. I was just thinking about food, thinking about the game. I had a discussion with a family member who's characteristically selfish and doesn't give a damn about food waste and how it contributes to, food supply. In the case of the United States, being a food exporter, if less food is wasted, more can be exported, as long as countries can pay for it, which isn't always a guarantee, but governments will typically try and make sure that people are fed before they let anything else, any other needs fail to be met. They'll let other needs fail to be met before they let people starve. Not always. Some authoritarian regimes the United States props up in some countries around the world, such as Egypt, actually, which is kind of funny because U.S. influences Egyptian politics, kind of has had it as a puppet state since getting helping crush the Arab Spring there, working to subvert it, which was an attempt, obviously, to bring democracy to Egypt in particular, but other countries as well. And yet that government is somewhat hostile what the U.S. is doing with Israel and Gaza, and the U.S. supporting it. And so the U.S. relationship is somewhat tense despite the immense control the U.S. has over the Egyptian government. And America's not really helping with preventing the starvation that's occurring of some of the poor in Egypt right now. And that's a government that doesn't give a shit about its people. So, but if there's more abundant food in the U.S., more is sold, which will always be sold to country can pay the most. But if there's enough, then even countries that can't pay much will eventually be able to buy because prices come down. I don't know. I was thinking about it since, there's been a lot of focus in this game about food and food production. And let's see. At some point I'll have to swap to working that farm near Forest Agency. Yeah, not having food waste my bases, although, it's a game, it's not real life, and putting too much time to this stuff, to optimizing, whatever. Anyways, I'm going to try and keep this shorter because I think my video's been getting way too long, so I'm going to try and keep this video really short. And let's see. I'm going to send these units along first and then move those. Actually, they could just get kicked out. I only needed one to do that. Then maybe get to Rebel Inc. Let's play. For those, by the way, who are new to my channel, check out the series from the beginning. I've organized things into playlists. Also, if you don't know much about me, disabled long COVID, which sucks royally. It's a brutal disease, and the government isn't doing much to cure it. Which does raise subject of how government uses its resources is always a moral choice, and what things are invested in, whether it's curing diseases, AI research, infrastructure development. There's a lot of competing priorities. Military spending, which the U.S. spends way too much on. I'm sure many of you are aware. It's absolutely ridiculous. It chokes everything out, everything else in the budget. There's all these tax cuts for the rich. True, but in the U.S., if not for the military budget, there would be no need to. There would be no difficulty with the budget where either spending has to be cut or taxes raised to make things work. Military budget really hurts things, including economic growth, because lower taxes, more money circulating that can be invested, or better yet, the government can do infrastructure investment because you cut taxes, a lot of it just gets spent on luxury goods by the very rich. It just does remind me of a video I was watching recently. Paul Cockshed, he was explaining the theories of this 1920s, 30s economist. This guy that not many people know is a Marxist. He's well respected and accepted in much of the economic community, and not many people know this guy was actually a Marxist. And he has it like in the footnotes of his book how something directly relates to Marx's theories on the declining rate of profit. But it was very obvious to see one of the mistakes that's often made in Marxist economists. I am, by the way, a Marxist, a democratic socialist, not a Marxist-Leninist. I think democratic centralism is a disaster because it leads to one-party state, and that undermines socialism, like it did in the Soviet Union. Although economically, well, politically, the Soviet Union was a basket case, where they had mass meetings which attempted widespread popular participation democracy, but with only one political party, it didn't work, and got all these accusations of being authoritarian, which are a little disingenuous, but the key word is a little. But anyways, when I was watching this thing, one thing that occurred to me is that what's often overlooked in Marxist Marxist economic analysis is that the rich do increase their consumption of luxury goods if they have more money. A lot of the theories of declining rate of profit just assume that luxury goods consumption is constant. A lot of the developments of the idea, at least early ones, and so the rich will just take their money and they'll either sit on it or they'll invest it in like new factories, research, whatever they do. They'll make capital investments with anything they don't just save. But that's not true. People can know about how there's rich people buy 6 mansions and more yachts. People absolutely do increase their consumption, and the whole the declining rate of profit still holds when you take this into account. And indeed, evidence has shown that it's a fact, but the rate of profit declines much more slowly than Marxists originally predicted, which is why capitalism has lasted so long. It's going to take much longer for it to eventually collapse because the rate of profit has declined much more slowly than was initially anticipated. And that, any Marxist will tell you, is the ultimate death knell of capitalism is the declining rate of profit. But it's not happening quickly enough to achieve the effects. But if the Marxist theories had been perfect, it would have been hard for even hack economists to argue against them, and everyone would. There are obviously mistakes that were made. That shouldn't be surprising. Should not be surprising at all. I'm feeding all these rovers to the border with Spartans because I'm going to try and infiltrate them in through the Xenofungus tendrils. Every time I try and move into Xenofungus, there's a chance of the rovers getting bounced. People think it's RAM. It's not really. It takes 3 movement to move in Xenofungus. So you have 3 movement, you'll always succeed. Unless it's a rocky tile, in which case it's 4. A rover has 2/3 chance. An infantry unit 1/3 chance. An elite rover will always succeed, kind of thing, if it's got all its movement. But it's randomized within that, rolled die, 2/3 chance success, kind of thing. This isn't guaranteed to succeed because that unit doesn't have all its movement. Spread those units out so they have a chance of disengaging. Alright. Should probably delay going their territory turn because everything gets skipped out anywhere, even units they don't know about. Once they spot something, I'll be following this tendril of fungus in a moment.
Terraform complete.
See what I can. It's outside the borders. The more I know of the map, the more I can effectively plan how to infiltrate my probe teams in. Even this stuff tells me, okay, there's a lot of fungus here, so there's more chance of mine worms coming from here and hitting a probe team that's doing its thing. Let's see. Just succeed in carving out this rolling rainy tile. Cool. Thinking these formers want to actually raise the terrain from here next to monitoring agencies. So instead of creating like a plateau, they create a mountain that's even taller and raise the elevation of solar panels, which eventually when NCAP energy will pay for itself. But yeah, I do want to, they could raise this from this flat and rainy tile alternatively. But I do want to raise some of these tiles, these ocean water tiles, into land. They can form base sites. They can be farmed with condensers, all kinds of cool stuff. Once I get a lot of land here, I can maybe drill an aquifer and have a nice long river that flows towards what's left of the sea there. Basically, rivers that flow from high elevation to low. It's not always to the ocean. Sometimes they can, like here, get trapped in a local low spot. 10-meter elevation. It's like a little lake. Basically, river that goes in a circle. If you were to raise elevation in these tiles, it would actually end up causing the river from wherever tile is the source to reroute itself and probably float to the ocean. Interestingly. Of course, you could also create a river that flows into here and do all sorts of shenanigans. that to hunt for mine worms and also keep the rovers more in this direction in case you need to get to these roads and feed them down south. I do need to connect civil rights monitoring agency with the road soon. I keep putting that off. Hmm. Sorry, I'm sitting here solely looking at elevations, figure out where I'll raise elevation from. And that should definitely happen eventually. Our priority is probably to get a farm mine there, though. Get mineral production up. A mine would be more valuable than these solar panels, probably. 1 mineral instead of 2 energy. Probe team and civil rights. Don't understand why this one's only... Well, I understand why it's hardened. I don't understand why the other is disciplined. Hardened is the rank that most things come out of World Health Organization at. Get this as far as monitoring agency now. Probe team in monitoring agency. It's kind of thematic. Kind of. Just support from here. I actually do need to get this laser squad done eventually. If I get secrets of the human brain, if it ends up costing nothing to, I might rename my APCs trance. APCs, the ones that, well, that have trance. I should actually keep the non-trance version. Because for War of the Spartans, trance is not that useful. And trance ones would just be the ones I might produce in the future. Or now that I can produce armored transports. If I'm producing stuff for, warfare. Of course, I may not be even producing those for a long time, so whatever. Maybe I don't bother with design just yet. This mine worm's somewhere down there. Keep on exploring. This rover needs to get to this monolith. And that move is a fail. Well, 2/3 move is not enough to guarantee movement to a forest. I think with 1 it's guaranteed. No, movement cost is 2, which just prevents units 2 moves from moving 2 tiles. Also a different force than, say, fungus, where you can get bounced more easily. No mine worms yet. Hmm. None there yet. Doesn't hurt to keep an eye out for them, but I've seen them. Go here. Or mine were may tap this instead of the former. And the universe should just be able to disengage. But in a way, indirectly protecting the former there. Rovers, I don't much want to risk more with the Spartans. I only got a couple of them. Let's see. 2? Yeah. Probably risk all my other rovers, but 2 rovers, try and keep for distracting mine worms and occasionally mopping up weakened ones and doing police since they don't cost upkeep. It's like a clean rover, basically. Which people theorize about what a clean reactor means, but you can literally read the description of the ability, and it refers to radiation shielding. So, clean reactors are basically just better shielded and don't emit radiation. I guess that causes less environmental pollution. I don't know why that prevents mineral upkeep, but that's what the in-game description very directly states is what's going on. You get these like P and Alpha Centauri and stuff, and people just theorize about stuff that's actually stays a fact in parts of the game. It's kind of amusing. It shows people have never thoroughly looked through the game files or maybe even played the game in some cases. Did these things. Let's see. Load the scout patrol. Try and go here. Have the scout patrol go ahead because it's guaranteed. Success in the transport is not. Indeed failed. Oh well. Actually, the former already had move. Oh well. That's a decent set for a mine. Rolling a rain tile. I think I read somewhere formers never fail to move into fungus if they have a full move. I'm not sure it's true, but well, succeed there, I guess. Hey, Scout Patrol probably gets defense bonus in the force. So it's not a terrible place to have it. Let's see. The base will, without a police unit, the base will lose its golden age when it grows. Actually, pull back the scout patrol. So the rover can just engage. And like a will, the tat from the fungus there. No point in throwing away units. Looks like the deep one that way. That might have unloaded its mine worm. Nope. Nope. Did not. Just means that rover is probably the one that's in the most danger of all my units. And I should try and get troops to Planetary Trust. Right.
Terraform complete.
Here, learn my lesson from before. Eat in, so 4 so I can buy 6 energy. If only I knew what.
Request confirmation.
Should be 3, 2, 3, I'm guessing. 5. Let's see. It's 11 for that, for 5 actually, which means eat for 3. Actually, this isn't hard. I just need to leave 2 minerals unbought. So
Request confirmation.
15 energy. That should. Boom. I'll upgrade 10 overfull exactly. Headquarters. Thanks to that former chop can now
Request confirmation.
hurry this. May not get the next probe team done anytime soon, but the sooner I get these teams for Spartan Steel Techs, the sooner I can start upgrading units, figuring out exactly what it'll cost, prototyping impact weaponry before I can upgrade, of course, and yep. You know, I might have this 7 turns be enough to. Probably would. I might actually have stolen impact weaponry from the Spartans in 7 turns, so that could be switched to impact infantry. And this is no rush, even though it'll take 20 turns after that point. Except that the population will grow. No, not that quick. And I'll do the mine, so. I'm reconsidering this laser squad, I think. Just probably want to do this probe teams because they don't cost upkeep. Avoid choking my mineral production even any further for the moment. Instead, producing laser squads and upgrading, which apparently upgrades are less cost effective than I thought they were. Just get an impact infantry done as soon as they have the tech, and then produce those. Some of those to deal with our armored Spartan units, and they have transports, which are APCs, which will help the infantry keep up the rovers. I only need I have 5 transports, which will end up probably being armored. I only need, I don't know, maybe like 8 infantry most to deal with all the armored units. There shouldn't be that many that have to fight. And sometimes impact infantry will fight, win, heal, fight again. It's not like I need one for every armored unit. Right, these guys should, nice. Made it 1 in 3 odds too. Upgrade. And they made it there. Very nice. Offloading here because it requires the fewest turns in naval movement. And next turn, these guys can pick up these scout patrols. Or go here. Probably not. I should pick them up immediately because why would I? Then they're a danger for next turn. Trying to go there because my worm spawned. Probably tap the weakened unit, but then these two would be able to maybe finish off unless the worm's smart enough to go for the stack to cause collateral damage, which just be griefing me. It would actually be more likely to die that way. The Owl Deep is going here, which I did not expect at all. I should probably try and get closer to it. Stay out of its range. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just out of its movement range here. I doubt I'll come right here, but I might be able to get some long range fire in this, which would be nice. Weaken the Isle. And this should scout out a path towards this pod, which I'd forgotten about before. Ah, here's another pod. Hmm. Do I risk it? this transport foil. Pick it up, I might get an artifact, but it's rare. It's probably not worth gambling on that.
Pod recovered.
Just a sonar pod. Data on the surrounding area. Okay. This area is called Eurasian Bay. It's a useless landmark, but it's interesting to know it's got a name. Scout up. Let's go on the coast here, so go boom. Or actually, boom, boom. Grab this pod next, I guess, now they know it's there. That'd be exactly 4 movement. 3 to get through the fungus, 1. If Isle of the Deep spawns, it'll have 1 movement to attack it, so... Cool. Now this recon rover is not only on a rocky tile, it's protected by a scout patrol. Just cheaper to replace if lost. Alright, best get stuff up this way. Might actually head this way, but with the diagonals it could go boom, boom, or boom, boom, it doesn't matter. Get onto the river and move towards Planetary Trust. In case of mineworms over there. Always best to attack them. Ah, the cancer there is finished. Hmm. 1 mineral, 1 lab point for... Yeah, at this point I'll do this. I want defense command to grow quickly. That's getting close. Oh. This farm is currently being worked. Mount command. I think I'll go north. Move the fungus and then a condenser. Make this rainy. This tile rainy, or there's a chance the forest will grow into that tile. What? No, it could go east. Pop a condenser. Yeah. Would be in range of mount command. Yep. Condenser here. Forest might overgrow it eventually, which would be nice. If not, still clears the way for mine here. So transport to get extra. Former turn. Another condenser. Finished near world food program. It's not very useful yet. Shouldn't that have made this tile rainy? Plopping condenser next to a moist tile? It didn't. Interesting. To pop another condenser near it. Was that tile arid before? I don't think so. Maybe it's something to do with elevation. Rainfall just to increase anyways. Interesting. Boom. The risk of my worms over here. Hunting for mine worms. A pod. Alright. That movement failed.
Recovered.
Can't wait forever. Ah, an alien artifact. Nice. That's a high priority to get back in one piece. Guess I'll try and bring the Uni rover to help escort it. It's going to be the techs are quite expensive. 366 lab points per tech and solely an increase. Sorry, mic bump. Send the transport here. I can help rush rover this way. These two. And scout patrol should just be on sentry duty to protect this. Actually, more advanced warning from here. Well, I can't protect this tile. Those more enough units next to it that. Yep. Keep an eye out for worms in this area. Might approach that nutrient resource. Hmm. All right. That's the wrong former. Trying to load the one that support from HQ. See if I can't. Darn it! That's terrible timing. After I moved all the units nearby. It's a whole bunch of non-combat units stacked here. This is bad. Very, very bad. Might get lucky. I don't know what defends the stack, but could it be the probe team? Maybe. Can at least pull 2 units though off the danger zone towards base, I guess. It's got a former. What? I do need that sensor array.
Turn complete.
Don't know if it'd be the transport, the probe team, or the former. They'll get attacked, but something's gonna die to that mine worm. Unless I get very lucky. Oh, the probe team. It's still a disciplined unit. So maybe I'll get a hardened probe team if I'm very lucky.
Turn complete.
Placing it on alert. I don't know if that
Turn
helps,
complete.
but sure. Maybe it'll increase the odds it defends. Oh, bad luck happens, and I screwed up by trying that after I moved all those other units. I probably should have just moved the transport to the rocky tile and not took that chance. But mistakes get made. I'll have to live with it. Trying to avoid any other obvious mistakes, though. Don't see anything. Super obvious, you know? Except the maritime command could... Oh no, this is even closer to growth. I was gonna say could that condenser, but... Yeah. Alright, well, I live with my mistakes. Or try to. Unless it's something like stupidly moving. I mean, this was technically moving units in the wrong order, but whatever. I've rolled by too many dumb mistakes. I can live with one of them. Alright, well, wish you folks the best. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves, and may you always find a guiding star to lead you home. Until next time, this is Northstar. Adieu, and best luck.